What is a dead giveaway that someone grew up in an abusive household? This is anecdotal, true for me, but I have no idea if it applies to others. I love being alone. I'm not an introvert. When I am around other people, I'm very outgoing. But given the choice, I great prefer being alone. I'm safe when I'm alone. Apologize for everything that isn't your fault. Take blame for events around you that don't involve you. Do everything you can to minimize emotional outbursts of others. It's not great. They are really good at finding out what people in authority wants to hear, and some are really good at manipulation as a result. Not due to evil means necessarily, but to survive and get by. Me and a roommate were having a disagreement in the kitchen, and I absent-mindedly reached into a cabinet above for a plate to make a sandwich. The roommate flinched as I reached up. So that. They freeze when people start yelling. Weirded out by a family being nice to one another. Upset when you see a happy family dinner in shows or movies. They can identify people based on their footsteps and cry in absolute silence. Can't relax. What if something needs to be done? Being good at manipulating people and situations without realizing it. You learn to read someone's emotions well and how to spin a situation to keep yourself safe. Stressful, distressing, or intense situation are often a 5, where to others it's a 10-11. Growing up in a violent and/or abusive environment hardens you as much as it damages you. People-pleasing, social anxiety, compulsive lying, hoarding, overeating. There are a lot of factors that can affect the ways childhood trauma manifests in adults. Edit, didn't think this would blow up. Please note I am not a mental health professional, and this is not a comprehensive list. There are many ways childhood trauma PTSD shows up in the behavior of adults. They don't ask for help with anything, ever. Being hypersensitive, as in tune with your emotions and everything else people have mentioned so far. I know exactly how my partners have felt, even if they did want not to admit that to me or talk about it even. Later, when we did talk about, they would be incredulous or annoyed about how I knew what was in their heads. I just told them when you spent your first 18 years constantly gauging your mother's emotions to see if it was safe for you, that sense is just always on. They don't cry about much. Take emotional ownership for others, even when there's no need. Example, telling your boss you can't be somewhere. You assume their anger or disappointment. You know people's emotions in an instant. You plan everything to avoid errors. And are anxious anyway. Ida. Not sharing hobbies or that you're doing something that isn't work or housework. I'm not afraid to garden, but playing a video game while anyone is at home makes me nervous. Both are equally fun for me, but one is work and the other is play. Being very, very good at listening for footsteps nearing, and keeping tabs on where everyone is in your house all the time. They are really funny. They tend to be very independent and have backup plans for their backup plans. It comes from a living environment that was unstable where they were often left to rely upon themselves to get by. They hesitate when you ask them questions. You can usually see the split-second analysis to weed out a trick question. If they don't have any photos of themselves as a child. Anxiety and a respect for authority at the same time. This is based on my own personal experience mostly, but easily scared, startled, hiding food, overeating, going completely silent when someone yells at you or scolds you, excessive apologizing for every little thing that goes wrong, being pretty independent, and not asking for help, because you don't want to bother anyone, seeking constant assurance or validation, either being incredibly affectionate or not affectionate at all.